Andrew here, and I'm feeling tired and worn. Might be able to tell, if you've watched a few of my videos, I don't generally look quite this bad. I mean, I'm not saying I ain't no supermodel, but I'm looking at myself on this screen and I look worn. And there's a really simple reason for it. I did not have a good sleep last night. Now, I expect this video to be posted after my videos on systems where I talk about trying to get my sleeping system back. Well, no, to be fair, to create a good sleeping system. I've never had one. When I was in high school, late high school, grade 12, grade 13, I live in Ontario. I'm old enough that grade 13 existed, and I graduated it. And I think it was grade 13, I'm sure it was grade 13, that one of the Toronto TV stations, Global, played Kung Fu at 11 o'clock at night, Monday to Friday. And this is the real Kung Fu, the one where David Carradine plays I think he plays a halfy Chinese monk, wandering across America looking for his long-lost brother, looking for his half-brother. It was a terrible show. I loved every stinking minute of it. But this was on from 11 till midnight, I think. I mean, these memories are pushing 40 years old. But it was on from 11 till midnight, and they were playing them in consecutive order, and I got to see the whole thing right up to the end. But I would watch. I'd go to bed. I mean, you know, I got to get up at 7:30 in the morning, so I got to be asleep. And there it'd be midnight, and I'd have watched the latest episode, and I'd be wide awake. Now, I lived on the third floor of my parents' house, and the staircase went over their bedroom, and it was very squeaky. So I didn't go down the stairs. I went out the window, across the roof, hung off the eaves trough to the next level, down the extension, hung off the eaves trough, down to the back porch, out the back yard, and I'd take a walk. That walk would run probably 5 miles. I'd get back, 5-mile walk. I mean, I was 18 and pretty fit, but I wasn't really walking. I wasn't exercising. I was just strolling around, waiting for myself to get tired. So I was probably getting back at 1:30 in the morning. And I'd reverse the process of getting back up into my bedroom, and I'd probably get to sleep at 2. And then I'd have to be up 5 hours later. And so I went through most of high school, or maybe, probably most of high school, but certainly most of grade 13 on about 5 hours of sleep. I'd probably sleep in on the weekends, certainly in the summers I did. And then engineering school wasn't any better. First year was a nightmare because in residence you had the a-holes who were doing commerce degrees or whatever, and they would pick all of their courses to not start before 11 o'clock in the morning, 11 or noon. Engineering? Fuck, we were done lectures by then. Afternoons were for labs. I had to be in the lecture hall at 8:30 every morning, which meant if I wanted to eat breakfast, I'm getting up at 7:30. And these dickheads are up till 2 in the morning because they can sleep until 11. So I'd try and catch up my sleep on the weekend. So long story short, I have poor sleep habits going back a very long way. This poor sleep stood me in really good stead in my traveling years when I traveled 2 weeks a month consulting and teaching CAD systems. Because I was based in Colorado and a lot of my work was on the East Coast, I'd be flying up to New England or I'd be flying to the Carolinas, 3 time zones of difference. And when you're getting up at 7 in the morning, but your body thinks it's 5 a.m. and you went to sleep, at 2 in the morning because your body thought it was midnight, I mean, you're cruising around on 4 to 5 hours of sleep. But I've learned to do that. I've lived like that for much of my life. Thing is, I've also noticed that as I've delved into my mental health problems and I've been trying to recover my physical health, my fitness levels, that sleep is really, really important, particularly to my mental well-being. So I'm trying to build a new set of sleep patterns. I'm trying to create for the first time in my life a good sleep pattern. And well, you can tell by the look of my face that any success I might be having certainly didn't occur last night. And there's a simple reason for it. I have an encrypted USB key with some very important information on it that stays very safely stored where only old daddy, old Andrew can find it and use it, even encrypted. But I had to have it at the actually, I didn't have to have it at the office. For whatever reason, I had to have it downstairs or something. So I shoved it in my pocket. I worked on the computer, blah, blah, blah. And it was in my pocket. Well, I take my walk at lunch. And the next day I went to work and it was in my pocket. I take my rather vigorous walk at lunch and I'm not walking around with this key in my pocket because I saw, I fish out. I don't like the music track that's playing, so I fish out my phone and I change the music or whatever. And I'm worried that I drop this. This thing falls down a sewer. I'm screwed, glued, and sent to market. Like, I did a terrible thing. I learned a great lesson from it about antifragility, and I'll get to it. But the short version is, or the long and short of it is, I took it out of my pocket and put it safely where I store my phone and my keys on my desk at work. And when I went home, I forgot the friggin' thing. And at 9 o'clock or 9:30 last night, when I was getting ready to go to bed, when I'm starting up my bedtime routine, I empty my pockets to do my meditation and relaxation yoga. It's not there. Well, I wasn't terribly relaxed. Not having this stupid thing that I went over in my head, I went over my day, and I knew exactly where it was. 99.9% sure. That 0.1% that remained, I was up. I don't think I got to sleep till 1 in the morning. I even had nightmares. I told you, mental health problems. I'm a mess. Working on them. But not having that threw my sleep routine for an absolute loop, and I'm just exhausted. Good news is that on those nights when I have a poor night's sleep, all I have to do is continue to follow my routine and add a certain special thing to it. Do not doze off before bedtime. If I doze off for 5 minutes, I'll be up till 3 in the morning. So I can't allow myself to do that. And that's where exercising the self-discipline muscle comes in. If I start to feel myself getting dopey and dozy, I'll get up and take a walk or something to keep myself awake so that at 10 o'clock when I go to bed, I'm ready for sleep. But it's really very interesting thing to me as I'm trying to create a healthy sleep routine. It's interesting the little things, like having my sleep knocked for a loop by a psychological issue of, oh dear, I forgot this thing in a high security building. I'm in a high-tech firm where intellectual property is incredibly important. You don't get in the door without one of these bad boys. You can't get in the place without having security access. I still couldn't sleep. Still messed up from it. So the process of getting my sleep under control and getting it is, well, I've created my system and it's getting there, but it's not there yet. Oh well, that's the way the cookie bounces. So, thanks for watching. I hope you had a laugh with me. Like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever, do the thing. That was my time. Now it's your time. In the meantime, keep smiling, take care, and you'll see me soon.